Hi. Welcome to Doomsday Dharma, the return of the queers, aka the funk strikes back, aka the rise of the soul. This is my first Dharma talk. I'd like to say what my name is, but I'll come on to my name in a second. My friend said, oh, maybe I should say something about myself, but I don't know why I would do that. Like, what do I want to tell you about myself, about my dharmic credentials or my mystic states or something like that makes you listen more intently or agree more with me? I want to trust that you can use your discernment to take whatever resonates with you, whatever brings you closer to light, love, freedom, and expressive joy. And what doesn't work for you, let's chat about it, and I'd love to grow and learn from this expression. So yeah, I don't really want to say much except, yeah, okay, I'm a freelance mystic. What else? A renegade bin funk, yeah. I am affectionately regarded, though I don't like to take the accolade, that I am the reincarnation of Guru Binpoche, who is the first funky sattva of the Mahayana tradition. Anyone heard of Mahayana Buddhism? It's the ecstatic joy division of Buddhism, okay? And it's this upsurge of creativity and joy and pleasure that wants to come through the Dharma. I really believe wants to come through the Dharma. I was told by my friend David Smartnight that healthy cultures across the world start and end with gratitude, and gratitude infuses the culture. So let's start with some gratitude. Oh, I'm grateful for this beating heart. It's beating a bit too quickly for my liking. Yeah, what am I grateful for? Yeah, I'm grateful to all the people throughout history who have felt their hearts opening and wanting to push out into compassionate expression into the world, despite the restrictions and oppressions, the cages of conformity and convention that they experienced, and they had the courage, the support to have the courage to push through and bring their beauty and love into the world. I'm so grateful, all the mystics, all the saints, all the seers, all the visionaries, the mavericks, like, we're here standing on your shoulders. I'm so, so, so grateful. And all the people that brought us the Dharma, all the people that have held on to this vision of what humanity are capable of, and the practices that help us get there. It's such a beautiful time to be alive and to receive like so much wisdom from so many places. I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful to my crews, like the people I've had the fortune of hanging out with, and so many which are here. Like, it's to say that I'm giving a talk is really strange. It's an alchemy of so many conversations, so many practices, so much support that has allowed me to take risks to express myself and to express love in the ways it wants to through me. It's the support of this place, Buddha Field, that allows us to take risks of how we are and how we express ourselves. And so, yeah, I'm really grateful for all that support, all that holding, all those conversations. And so much of what I'm saying is other people's words, and I won't be able to reference them all, but yeah, I freaking love you all. And I'd like to dedicate this talk. The talk's called Doomsday Dharma. I'd like to dedicate this talk to all of those of us who... I can't put my hand on my heart, can I? All those of us who dare to bear witness to what is happening in our world, what's happening to humanity, perpetrated by humanity, the pain and suffering that is being inflicted around the world, not just to humans, but also to our siblings, the forests, the trees, the rivers, the fish, the birds. All those that dare to open their hearts and see what is happening, and rather than constricting and shrinking away, taking a step forward and seeing, okay, what do these times demand of me? How does love want to rise up to this challenge? It is such a blessing to stand alongside you and to confront these crises together. And it's really with your strength that I'm sat here and expressing myself, and yeah, really, really enjoying myself. Yeah, okay, let's go. Names. So is my name Momo? The name I want to call into this space now is actually a combination of my mum's name, the name that, well, one of my names, Vishal, which I was born with, and my dad's name, which is Jai Shri Vishal Vikram Singh, which means praise the holy, vast wisdom lion, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm that wisdom lion, yeah? In my culture, I was brought up a Hindu. In my culture, a name isn't yours, it is a gift to your culture. It's a gift to your community, yeah? It's a mantra. Man meaning mind, tra meaning release, yeah? Mantra. And so what do we want to release our minds from? Because of our culture, because of our upbringing, we don't see reality as it is, right? It's overlaid with stories, with filters, ways of looking, perspectives, images, understandings of the world. And some of those understandings of the world cage the heart. They make us shrink. They make us small. They make us violent. And other stories, other understandings, we feel that release, that opening, that relaxing into love, into beauty, into joy. And so mantras are there to release the mind from the shackles of some stories and into the stories that help us inhabit a more exalted and vibrant state of being. Yeah. What a gift, right? And like, my mum's name is Jai Shri, but I didn't realize what praise the holy meant. I had no understanding of the potency of the word praise. Like, now I say the word praise, and already I can feel my energetic body just shifting and changing. And holy, oh, and how I've forsaken my mother's name over the years, not understanding its resonance, which teaches me something. It teaches me that a symbol is only potent if you infuse it with meaning. If we gain an insight into holiness, into praise, and then we say, Jai Shri, Jai Shri, Jai Shri, Jai Shri, Jai Shri, praise, 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 holy, holy, holy. And then every time we hear those words, then our culture is infused with those meanings, and we can release our minds, we can release our hearts from the shackles of not praising. Yeah, what a gift names can be, what a gift symbols can be. And our culture is full of symbols that are constantly giving us meanings that we're imbibing and internalizing and living our life by. And we can change our names, right? You can change your name into anything you like. One of my friends changed their name to Luminescence. Like, what a beautiful name, right? Luminescence. Oh, I'm tingling. Luminescence. That which radiates light simply by virtue of being alive. Yeah? Doesn't matter about what you think you should be, what you should be doing, like whatever norm you should be meeting, what profession you have, what output you have, blah, blah, blah. Simply by virtue of being alive, you radiate light. Jen, what does your name mean?
It means God's gift of grace.
God's gift of grace. How many times, when Jen told me their name, I was like, when they asked me what the meaning was, I was just expecting like, oh, I don't really know. Like, God's gift of grace. Imagine that. Every time we hear your name, God's gift of grace, you know, is released in space. Jennifer. Jen, just Grace?
Grace.
Just Grace. Yeah. And then Daniel, Matthew, Mark. When I hear those names, I just kind of go, oh yeah, Daniel. Do I think, these courageous beings that left everything behind in order to follow love, beauty, and light? Oh, imagine if that was what I felt every time I heard those names. And we can, if we infuse these symbols in our culture with meaning. So the name I'd like to bring into this space is Leela. Leela, the cosmic toy. What do you do with toys? Play. We play. So I like doing this. It's a new thing. I like doing this. I'm just going to keep doing it, right? I don't be scared to. It does something. It feels really nice. If you ever want to do that, if you want to go like, ooh, yeah. You're like, asking Jack, what is the Buddhist word for hallelujah? Sadhu, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, sadhu, but I haven't to go, sadhu, sadhu. And I think Daniel Sutton, whatever, he said that svaha means fuck yeah, fuck yeah. You know? That's, yeah. So if you feel like it, you feel like it, but I'm not expecting too much. Play. This talk is an invitation to play, to play with what? To play with this gift we've been given, to move this body, to behave, to speak, to act, to connect, to make love, to play with consciousness, to play with the Dharma, to play with spiritual practice, to play with culture and what makes up the culture that creates us. To play. And I'm so grateful to Rob Babea and Catherine McGee and Mark Overland and all my friends who support me to play, to be silly with practice and just go, Mark always says this thing, I'd like, oh, Mark, this feels really, really good. I'm not sure it's right. Like, I'm not sure meditation's supposed to feel like this. And he's like, if it feels good, it's okay. And that permission, just to do what feels good, rooted in love, rooted in virtue, to allow your practice to just do what feels good in whatever way it wants to. Yeah. All right, play. What does play feel like? Fun, yeah, it does feel fun. And fun, is fun a bad thing? Yeah. Or you sound like a Buddhist. What else? Play. Silly. Aliveness, yeah. Free, exciting, yeah. Exploring. Mischievous, yeah. Huh? Connecting, yeah. Play is glorious. And also, like, enter into the state of flow, like, at times. And there's a poem in one of Bill Plotkin's books, can't remember who wrote it, but at the end it says, it's about the wild indigenous South in their schema, don't worry about that. And it says, and I almost forget who I'm supposed to be. Something about play in that flow state feels energetically, it's just like, I don't need to worry about anything else. This feels right. It's almost like this is what we're here for. We're creating freely, playing, connecting. Is that what we're here for? Energetically, it sometimes feels right to me. Exciting. Thanks, plant. Exciting. Yeah, it feels exciting. And this talk feels really exciting to me. And my friend Julian says that, or taught me that, excitement is fear plus joy. And yeah, I feel afraid. I feel scared. I feel really scared sat here. I can feel the fear in my body, but I feel exhilarated. I feel excited, because along with that fear, I can feel the joy. I can feel like this is how life wants to express itself right now. And I'm connected to that. And yesterday, I almost gave up. I didn't want to do the talk, and my friends supported me. But because I was connected to that joy, to those prayers, to that devotion, it felt like, yeah, this is what wants to happen. And those fears are there. I'd like to share with you just a little bit about how I practice with it. I might use words like samadhi and emptiness and metta. And if the flow of the talk goes that way, I might be able to explain a bit more about it. But for now, if you don't know what I mean by it, don't worry. You don't need to know it in order to follow along, yeah? Don't be like, oh, shit, I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, God. No, just roll, yeah? And I'm going to practice just to make me feel good. So I feel this fear. And, yeah, I feel my body contracted. And I can feel that contracted state lets me know that I'm believing some stories that are caging my heart. And I have come to experience that through different insights, that those stories are empty. They're empty of inherent reality. They are fabrications of my mind. Oh, what a relief. What a relief, and I can relax. I can relax my energetic body. Yeah, great. And relaxing, I can feel my heart open a bit more. And I can feel this egg, this cosmic egg of love that's just surrounding me. And this egg, this egg has a big rooster sat on top of it. And it's not just any rooster. It no longer identifies as rooster. It's an Arab, assigned rooster at birth, chicken assigned rooster at birth. which has sent all the hens off to go and enjoy their day while they sit on the eggs and it's nestling its feathers on top of me. And those giggles, that joy of the Arab joke. Just like, the light comes into my being and I feel better already, right? Like, let the Dharma be silly and feel the energy of that silliness. And it feels nice. It feels nice because I'm being warmed unconditionally. And rather than feeling your judgment, not that you're judging me, you might be judging me, rather than feeling your judgment, it's okay if you're judging me. I'm going to pretend you're not because it's better for me. Rather than feeling your judgment, what if I imagine that you're there loving me? And that we're all here because we feel the pain of this world. We feel the pain of this unnecessary suffering and loneliness that we all experience and that so many beings experience. Unnecessary, but present. And we're here with this hope that we might be able to conjure this wisdom lion. I'm not the wisdom lion. We're going to conjure that wisdom lion together and gain some insight that might open our hearts and give us the courage and insight to act in the name of love and create a better culture that transforms humanity into our noble, exalted, beautiful, glorious, compassionate, playful, joyful, peaceful selves. Yeah. That's how I practice sometimes. I feel better already. Yeah, let's talk about fear a little bit. Jack and Storm, if I'm talking too quickly and not taking pauses, can you, like, zap me? Thank you. Yeah, fear. That fear. No, let's talk about creativity. So, I'm going to say some outlandish things, like there is no more potent a creative force in the universe than the human imagination. Right? No more potent a force of creativity than the human imagination. Yeah, okay, you're thinking, yeah, whatever, that humanity's only here because of the sun. The sun is this, oh my God, it like, yes, it like holds a solar system in place with its magnetic pull. It radiates unfathomable amounts of light, warmth, and heat that meets this rock, and one small section of it meets this rock, and life flourishes on Earth in the beautiful way in which it does. But in some senses, it's a one-trick pony. Yeah, it's just light, warmth, and love, and a bit of gravity, right? Whereas the human imagination, when the blockages are clear, we can invent entire universes at the click of our fingers. We can recreate, reimagine reality in the blink of our eyelids when the channels are clear. Not that mine are that clear, but there's no more potent a force of creativity. And I really believe that, yeah, it's like life was stumbling along on Earth, slowly, like creating, you know, like trees and plants and animals and stuff like that. And life loves to create. It's constantly creating, destruction, creation, destruction, creation. It loves it. And at a certain point, it was like, you know what? I love this so much. I'm going to make myself a toy. We're that toy. Yeah? Life wants to play with us. Yeah? The fruit, right? Oh, it's absorbing the light of the sun, and we get this oxygen that we get to breathe, and we get nourished by this fruit. It kills it, it dies for us, so that we can play with life, right? So that we can look at the trees and go, whoa, wow, you know? We can love each other and feel like, you know? We can be mischievous, we can be cheerful, we can play, we can grieve, we can bear witness to the beauty of existence, right? Yeah, I'm going to say it. This is what I believe we're here for. We're here to, rooted in love, rooted in oneness, rooted in the unity of all beings, for life to surge through us, meet our imagination, and explode in its unique ways onto our consciousness and move our bodies, move our mouths, and create, and create, and create. And the Dharma is an incredibly potent tool for opening the heart, allowing us to know that we are rooted in love and that it's love and beauty that wants to be expressed and is expressing itself, and to free up our imaginations from the shackles, from the restrictions, from the fears. The fears of convention, the fears of not being approved of, like, you know, being weird, yeah, being strange, going against the herd, going against the tribe is life-threatening. Yeah, like evolutionarily, it's life-threatening. You get kicked out of the tribe because you're a weirdo doing weird things. You get kicked out and you die on your own, yeah? B, no one wants to fuck you, right? And that means your whole point of being alive is gone, right? So it's scary, right? So these fears are there, and there are these conventions, and they're there to support us. I felt all this fear before coming into this talk, and the fear was giving me messages and lessons, but I used, no, it was constraining me. Last year I couldn't do this because I was too scared. This year I felt I had the courage, I had the support to take a risk and do it. And the fears were restricting me. Emptiness, samadhi supported me to see what those fears actually wanted to say, which is, you've got limitations. You've got a heart, but you've got limitations. You need to practice. So this is me practiced because I was scared. So it gave me a message, but it hasn't held me back. Because I feel supported enough. I feel supported by my crews. I feel supported by you in this space. I feel supported by being attuned to what I believe is love and virtue. And I have the support of samadhi, cultivation practice, metta practice, and emptiness practices. And this lineage of mystics who are like going, yeah, crack on. Yes, these norms of our culture. Yeah. So what are those norms, right? Those norms, those values of our culture that we've internalized, right? When meditating, we can start to see, closed eyes, the stories that are affecting our hearts and that we're living our lives by. And I start to notice, actually, those aren't expanding me. And I don't even need to meditate to see that there is something rotten in our culture. We cannot be living by the norms of our culture. We have to be questioning our culture at all points in time because it is destroying love. It is destroying the planet. It is destroying all the beings we love so much. It is destroying the human spirit, you know? So it's our role to look at our culture and how it's affecting us and create a new culture, one which enshrines love and kindness and beauty. I'm going to say love, kindness, beauty, glory, exalted a lot, okay? Great, thank you. We'll come back to that. I look at this, but I'm not really reading anything. It just helps me. Yeah, okay, let's talk about... okay, so we have this creative impulse and wants to rise out, but there are these norms that oppress that expression, right? They restrict it and hold it back. But life wants to create through our form, and so, and it pushes through. When there's oppression, when we see gross oppression, we see creativity and play pushing through and rising out. And there are 3 big examples. One is the funk, yeah? The funk is unapologetic creative expression. But what is it born out of? It's born, oh shit, my book. Jack, my bag's over there. The funk book's inside it. It's a grey bag. It's your bag, actually. The funk is born out of, yeah. I just bring the bag. Blessed be, blessed be. Okay, maybe the phone book's not in here. It's all good. I have to paraphrase something then. The funk, yeah? Unapologetic creative expression born out of one of the most grotesque violations of life, which is the enslavement of African peoples, exported around the world and the oppression and the violence that they faced, and yet they held on to vibrant expression of life, yeah? Rooted in the one, rooted in a cosmology of oneness and harmony. Creative expression in the book I was going to read from. Creative expression is tantamount, it says, to mental and spiritual well-being, yeah? And in the 70s, when the civil rights movement happened, African-American people were able to get even more funky, yeah? There was, in the book, they describe how blues, soul, funk, hip-hop are all funk, yeah? They're all funk. They're all unapologetic self-expression, rooted in love, rooted in oneness, yeah? And they created some really potent symbols, right? Like the booty, right? As soon as you think of the booty, something inside me loosens up, like, shaking one's booty, yeah, shake that thing. Or like the just hearing that riff, just like, oh yeah, already I feel like, yeah, ready to go. But importantly, Jack helped me to just check this, that I don't want to marginalize anyone else's funk. Funk can feel like, oh, it's like joy and vibrant, it's wearing diapers on your head and like going, ah! No, everyone's funk is welcome. However life wants to express itself uniquely through you is game, rooted in love, yeah? Rooted in love, that's the main criteria. Rooted in love, you can express it how it likes. What funk is calling into us is full spectrum living. We have a prism. Oh, I didn't bring my prism. Or the book. Okay, got a prism. Light enters this prism, and what comes out the other side?
Rainbow.
A rainbow. Full spectrum, yeah? Full spectrum. And society, homogenizing normative Babylon culture, wants us all to be orange, yeah? I'm orange, you're orange. If you're not orange, you should be orange. If you're not orange, you're bad, yeah? But there's a whole spectrum of possibility. There's like nerdy sci-fi. There's like joyous dancing. There's whatever. There's so much possibility. I don't care how you want to express yourself as long as it's how love wants to authentically express itself through you and you're not filtered or blocked, yeah? Full spectrum funk. Let's talk about queerness, okay? This is the return of the queers. Queerness. You can still hear me? Do I need to keep shouting louder and louder? Yeah? Yeah, great. All right, I will still shout. Pretty epic, yeah. Svaha! That is a deluge. Oh yeah, sweet, yeah, drag it all in, drag it all in. Yeah. It's the lion, yeah? Rah! Yeah. Yeah, bring your stuff in. Huh? Oh, it's gonna be a rainbow, yeah, sick. Oh, you're gonna have to miss out on this one, yeah? Yeah, cooling in the rainbow. All right. Queerness. Let's talk about queerness, yeah? I'm going to give 3 versions of queerness. Sexual, gender, and full spectrum, yeah? So, I'm no queer scholar. This is my rendition. There were some people that thought that it feels really good as a man to have sex with another man. And there were some women who were like, I like having sex with women. And some people were like, that's weird, that's wrong. In fact, that's queer. And in the 40s, they went, well, if following my pleasure, if following my beauty means I'm queer, reclaimed, I'm queer, yeah? they were following their pleasure. They were following, despite the oppression, despite what restrictions and violence, real violence they faced, they did what their bodies, what their hearts yearned for, yeah? It's powerful, it's powerful. And then let's move on to, this is quick fire, yeah? Someone else do a bigger history. And then gender queering, right? There are some potent symbols in our culture, really potent symbols. And one of them is he, and one of them is she, okay? When we hear he and she, they are laden with meanings that affect us unconsciously. And for me personally, like, there are expectations of how a man should be in this world. How a grown man should be, a professional and confident and strong and whatever. And there are all sorts of there's a much wider spectrum of possibilities that a man or someone born with a penis and testicles can inhabit, yeah? Different ways of being in this world. And things that have opened up to me as a result of exploring, queering gender are like exploring what it means to be sensitive and cute and smile like this in front of people, to be playful, silly, to step back. To step back and to not need to lead the show. I know this is not a good example of that. There's so many other possibilities, and that's my journey, yeah? Other people's in other ways. And you don't need to be gender queer to do that. There's this, I call it the good man movement, right? It's like people in their own ways going, what else? What is the full spectrum of how a man can be in this world? And it's fucking beautiful. It's beautiful to see men changing into these delightful ways. And why is it good? Because it feels good, yeah? It feels energetically right. It feels good. And that gives the courage, that gives the strength to push against convention, expectation, and norms telling us, no, that's... I'm trying not to use words I shouldn't use, but bad words that people say about those people. It feels good. It feels good. But it's dangerous as well. It's really dangerous and it's really scary. This impulse to express ourselves authentically is alienating and separating, and society is often not able to hold or accommodate queerness, weirdness, funky expression, and that alienation, that separation from our caregivers and their values and the norms of our culture is painful. And so Sarah Ahmed says, we can only queer at the, this is not a direct quote, we can only queer at the, to the degree that we're supported. Like, support is the foundation for our risk-taking, right? So if we're being called in to express ourselves in authentic ways, we need support, yeah? Crews. No funk rolls without a crew, yeah? They're always in a posse, they're always moving together. And in that crew, you're free, because they get you, yeah? Queer communities, Sangha, yeah? Community is important, it supports us and helps us. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go quickly. Joe went on for a bit, so... Yeah, and this oppression, soulfulness. Soulfulness to me is the soulful way we express ourselves when that prism is clear of all its duttiness, it's clear of all its filters and blockages, and life can flow through us, meet our imagination, express itself authentically, and we can bring our gifts, our soulful gifts, rooted in love. All our gifts, all our fruits are love, yeah? If it's rooted in beauty, it's all beauty, yeah? That is soulfulness, and at the level of free expression of our souls, we are all grotesquely oppressed. Yeah, meditation practice and the Dharma, especially as taught by Rob Babea, for me at least, has helped me to open up, clear those filters, clear those blockages, to attune, to feel to feel sensitive to the vibrations of glory, of love, and yeah, imagine how I can be in this world differently. Yeah, so supportive. Okay, now, in Buddhism often says, like, we have this one precious life, right? This one precious life. And that is a catalyst to practice. Not only this one precious life, we could die any minute, right? Any minute we could just drop dead. Again, catalyst for practice. Why? Why would I waste a single moment contracted when I can be expanded? Why would I waste a single moment feeling annoyed, upset, judging when I can be in love and in beauty and compassion because it feels great? But there's another catalyst that this generation, is experiencing. We might be the last generation of humans, yeah? Or one of the last. We are witnessing the extinction of humanity. We're experiencing the extinction, the pollution of our rivers, and the fish there are hardly any fish running through them. And we have to figure out what life wants of us at this time. And if I truly believe that life wants to enjoy itself as a human being, life wants to enjoy itself and witness itself and care for itself and play with itself through a human being, then what a great catalyst. What a great catalyst to create cultures that support us to do that, to express ourselves in these beautiful ways, because we might be the last ones who have that opportunity. Not that we have the opportunity, that life has the opportunity to play with this toy. Yeah? I mean, it's pretty good at what it does, so there'll probably be other toys further down the line, but yeah. And that's the inspiration for this talk. That's the Doomsday Dharma element. I feel so privileged to spend time with people. I said this at the start, but yeah, I could say it again. So privileged to spend time with people that are reconciling what is happening, that are really witnessing and really feeling it. And we're racking our brains, racking our hearts. What is a meaningful response? And there's so many stories. I'll do activism in this way. That's a meaningful response, etc., etc., etc. And there are more possibilities. There are more creative possibilities of what a meaningful response is. My invitation is to play with your imagination, to witness and experience, to love more all that is being stripped away from us, and allow that to affect our imagination and follow it. Find the support that we need to follow what is being called of you and of us, because we need these gifts. One, so that life can enjoy itself. Two, so that more beings can enjoy being alive, right? So more humans can enjoy it, so it spreads further. Create potent cultures with potent symbols that inspire people to release their minds and open their hearts. But also, there's a chance that some humans are going to get through, yeah? They're going to get through. Humanity is passing through the eye of a needle. And will I be fucked if a rich man gets through? Yeah? A rich man gets through, and everything that allows someone to be rich in material, whatever, Babylon wealth, yeah? Will I be fucked? We have to create a time capsule of the best bits of wisdom and of culture. We are so lucky that we get to live in this globalized world where so many wisdom keepers from around the world, yeah, so many religions are offering their teachings to save us, yeah, to bring us into light, who remember what it means and what we're capable of, the noble, proud, dignified form of an exalted, liberated being, yeah, glorious, glorious beings. They remember how to practice. And they're offering those practices to us. And with this oppression, with the destruction of our climate, with technology homogenizing us, all this homogenizing, conventionalizing force. With all that restriction, that wisdom is going to go. It's like the burning of the books in Alexandria, the invasion of India by the Mongols, et cetera, et cetera. Disasters cause the loss of knowledge and wisdom, and especially the direct lineage. Yeah, I've learned all my shit from books, like little texts of like yogis saying shit. I want to meet someone who just radiates and just get that direct transmission of like, yeah, there's a potency that you get when you meet someone who's vibrating with it, and you receive that, and too few people get to experience that. So yeah, that will get lost. And so yeah, we need to create this time capsule that we can deliver through, that we can send through with potent symbols that inspire everyone, yeah, from all walks of life. Ticking along, aren't we? Not too bad. It says here, will I be fucked? It's been done before. The Buddha did it, yeah? 2,500 years ago, the Buddha smashed it. He attained liberation, attained realization, became an awakened being, right? Discovered the Dharma, which was already there, but then he created something, the Vinaya, which is the container, the vehicle, the vessel, the culture that delivered the Dharma, yeah? Transmitted it so that 2,500 years later, we are here getting that kernel of truth, that these words, insight, liberation, fabrication, that just opens the heart. We can still experience that. We may have lost the direct transmission, but just these tiny bits of wisdom, 2,500 years later, we get that. So it can be done, right? It can be done. Do I want to go into that bit yet? Consult the book again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say this thing. Oh, the third type of queerness. Yeah. The third type is the full spectrum. So taking it out of gender, taking it out of sexuality. The invitation of queerness for me is the dictum, assume nothing, queer everything, right? And just kind of going back, but it's just important for what I say later. Assume nothing, queer everything. It's an invitation to question every part of humanity to see if it embodies our values, yeah? The values of our heart, right? So we create this culture full of symbols that help us to remember insights. Oh yeah, that bit. Sorry, just revising. We have insights at different points in time, right? Have an insight, a vision of what I'm meant to be, what my gift is to the world. Yeah, if I understand that I'm a cosmic being of love, everything's better. But then we forget. In Sufism, there's the dhikr, yeah? Which is constant remembrance, because we forget constantly. Yeah, we forget the best versions of reality, the best story, the best image of reality that opens our heart. We constantly forget, so we need to remember. So healthy culture is one that is littered, can be saturated with practices and symbols that help us to remember unconsciously that which wants to be remembered. Yeah? All right, let's move on to queering Buddhism. Yeah, this is inspired by one of Robert Bayer's talks, or empowered by one of Robert Bayer's talks, called Questioning Awakening. It's shit hot. It's really great. It's really great. And what I'm saying isn't a paraphrasing. I haven't listened to it too recently, so this is me now. Still shaking. So we want to create this culture, and we're orphans, yeah? We've lost the lineage in the West, we've lost that connection. We're orphans, so we turn to the symbols that have been retained. we turned to the symbols of the East, yeah? Buddhism, yogas, the Om symbols, etc., statue of the Buddha. And yeah, thank God, like we're here, and we're all here because we gained something from that, yeah? The question is, what assumptions are we making about Buddhism, about spiritual practice, about meditation, based on the way in which Buddhism has been brought to the West, the way in which it's being practiced? And is it fit for purpose? Yeah? Is it fit for purpose? Do we automatically go, oh, Buddha, they're really wise. Oh, I'll bow, yeah, whatever. Oh, these people are bowing. Oh, I'll do that as well. Yeah, that must be the right thing to do. Or are we engaging ourselves critically with like, is this leading me to where my heart yearns to go? Are we trusting in our hearts? Oh, look, he's there. Are we trusting in our hearts? What assumptions are we making? All right, again, some kind of outlandish statements, but it's just for the sake of, yeah, whatever. We think of the Buddha, what do we think of? He says that the statue of the Buddha sat in lotus position, smiling gently, solid, firm, unwavering, yeah? It's like really masculine qualities of like solid, defiant, strong, sat there. I never think of the Buddha dancing or singing or fucking. Like, I don't think of the Buddha as being, as eating, right? I don't think of them being cheeky. And if you look at some, there was one time when the Buddha responded to someone in like a 72-verse rap, right? He was cheeky as fuck, yeah? But that's lost, because I don't get to hang out with the Buddha, yeah? I see the statue, and what does it inspire in me? Yeah, it inspires something. It inspires some part of me, but it doesn't inspire all of me. And if I think about my nephew, who's 13, living in Bristol, loves drill music, just the type of modern, hyper-aggressive, violent rap music. He's a sick MC. Yeah, like, is that statue going to inspire him? And I think about, okay, what does meditation practice lead to? Rigorous meditation practice lead to? Being a monk? Don't want to be a monk? They look boring. That life looks dull, yeah? They're loving it, and they're like hanging out with a couple monks, like, oh yeah, like they're there. But the image of Buddhism, the image of a monk is boring to me. I think it's boring to a lot of people, but we haven't got anything else. Yeah, what else have we got to go by? Luckily, the Tibetans were a bit more creative, and we get this and that. Like, whoa, isn't that beautiful? But that was made like what? When did Padmasambhava? When did Buddhism get to Tibet? Like 7th century or something? Ages ago. These were commissioned in the 14th century. Sangharakshita said, Buddhism will flourish in the West. This is not a direct quote. Buddhism will flourish in the West when it meets the cultures of these lands. What is that culture? Is it Celtic pagan culture? What Celtic pagan culture here? Yes, people are bringing it up. My culture is urban, it's cosmopolitan, it is multi-ethnic, it is queer now, it's funky, yeah? It's hip-hop. My liberation, when Buddhism met pagan Tibetan culture, I have to strain. I have to strain to be inspired by this and that, yeah? Someone sees it and they have this, I had a dream of green Tara. Lucky you, yeah? I didn't have that dream. And I look at it, I'm like, oh, everyone's so devoted. I see tits and a wide waist, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that inspired because I didn't grow up with this. I didn't grow up with this symbology to understand. I probably did more than most of you, actually, because I got a Hindu background, yeah? I didn't grow up with this. My liberation, my awakening, the symbols that make me come alive and help me to to shake off the shackles around my heart, have a sick bass line and a dirty drop, and it's got some bad girl MC spitting over the top of it, speaking about love and liberation and beauty. You know, that makes me come alive. So this is an invitation for us to not assume anything about spiritual practice, to not assume that pujas need to look like the pujas we're holding in there, yeah? Last year, I fake it. I'm totally faking it. I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I'm faking it because I can feel there's something there. I want to believe there's something there. But I feel outside of it, and I feel like I'm a bad, maybe, am I doing this wrong? Like, is this not for me? Is Buddhism and spirituality not for me? Because I don't get it, and I want to be in the dance tent. That's where I feel good. But faking it, like last year, it was great. I had a great, like, woo, little awakening. This time, nothing. And it's not to put that down in any way, but who is going to reimagine Buddhism? Who's going to reimagine spirituality and create this potent capsule, this time capsule, yeah, of all the good things, all the practices that allow us to rise into our gifts. And when we come into our gifts, we express them related to the conditionings that created us. Yeah, if you're urban, it's going to be more urban, you know. If you're this, it's going to be a bit more that. And it's going to resonate, or my hope is, it's going to resonate more with more people, yeah? More types of people. Yeah, not just people who've done the hard work. It's hard work. It takes a lot of fire and desire to make the commitment to read the Bhagavad Gita, yeah, or to read some of the Diamond Sutra and stuff like that, and to follow those symbols and to be inspired. And people have done that work, yeah. They worked really hard. Like people living in the mountains in Tibet came over to the West and explained the Dharma, and then Western teachers understood it and have now done it. And now we're at the point where it can pop off in our image, yeah? And we need that because we don't have much time left, yeah? More beings, so many beings are living in this constrained way and their hearts are caged, and there are these tools, yeah? 3 years ago, I didn't know what praise or holy meant. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel devotion. I didn't feel love. You know, 30 years wasted, not feeling that. And oh my God, my life feels good now, yeah? And I want it to spread. And I think, if not us, then who? Yeah? Who is doing that? Who are the Dharma teachers? Who are the serious practitioners, yeah? Who are they? Who is thinking in this radical way? If not us, then who? Yeah? Oh, someone else will figure that out. Someone else will make a... You know the queer tarot cards? If you haven't seen those, queer witch tarot, they're fucking great. Rather than these this stale old white guy in an armchair, it's this queer black woman sat back like this, and it's like, yeah, that brings someone to life in a way that the other tarot cards won't, yeah? All right, I'm going to end with a story. The story's not on here, I don't know where I'm looking. I'll tell a story. What's the fucking story? Come on. Ah, yeah. This is what the Buddha wanted. This is not some maverick shit. The Buddha predicted this, yeah? One of the first tribes of the Mahayana is the Binfunks of Vishaliscious, some people who made a commitment to the Bodhisattva ideal and meditating, yearning, begging, pleading with the divine, fasting, praying, pleading, how to bring about love into this world. What are these times, the destruction, these crises, what is it calling of us? An image came. The image was of Siddhartha Gautama, the historical Buddha, the most recent Buddha in 2,500 years ago, yeah, the one that this is all about, yeah, sat in lotus position, and the other, Maitreya Buddha, standing. Maitreya Buddha is the Buddha to come, yeah. This vision was there, and it was clear that we had to just meditate and reflect, just meditate on these. And our prayers were answered in a bin in Chew Magna outside the co-op, in a rotting watermelon, yeah. You always got to check, because sometimes there's a good bit, yeah. The rotting watermelon, there were these gleaming what are those leaves, the Bodhi, from the Bodhi tree? These like leaves, the stack of leaves, they were gleaming, glistening, pure. And written in it, weirdly in English, there was this text written, and it didn't say, thus have I heard, which is how all the scriptures start, thus have I heard. It's the Buddha's disciples, thus have I heard. It said, thus have I spoken. Yeah? The lost teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha. I can't tell you the whole scripture. It kind of like, it's got this weird repetitive style, and like it's old rap, it's not modern rap, so it doesn't really maybe come to life. But it described their awakening, yeah? The 4 months after the Buddha became awakened, it said that he wrestled with, oh yeah, so people say this thing, we're so fortunate that the Buddha, having attained full realization, full awakening, out of compassion came and taught us. And he didn't sit in a cave, meditating, basking in bliss. Why do we assume that an awakened being would sit in a cave, basking in bliss? Why do we not assume that the Buddha wants to do what we love to do? What the Buddha did, free from conditionings, free from restrictions, free from all the stories that say, this is how a prince behaves, this is how a father behaves, this is how a husband behaves, this is how an enlightened being behaves, how a yogi behaves. Free from all those stories. He was free for life to move him as it wants to move him, to love itself as it wants to be loved. And what did he do? He shaked his freaky booty, yeah? He went and danced with the trees. He sung with the birds. He swam with the rivers and the fishes the rivers were full of fishes, yeah? Full of fishes. And he enjoyed and celebrated, but his heart was burning. His heart was burning. I need to spread this message. I need to share this message. But what happens when I go into town and I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm out, yeah? Freedom, it feels like this. Oh, and it feels good. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Because everyone is like, fuck, yeah, an awakened being says I can do this. Oh, shit. Shackles of Babylon, yeah? So he was like, this is dangerous. The Buddha's able to do whatever the Buddha likes because they are rooted in virtue, in love, yeah? And they can do whatever they like because it's rooted in love, rooted in virtue, rooted in cosmic oneness, unity with all beings, no separation, they're everything. But other people won't necessarily be doing it from that place. So the Buddha did something that they had to do. They bound their booty in the most restrictive position that a booty can inhabit, and that is lotus position, yeah? They sat there, and for 2,500 years, the symbol of Buddhism is the Buddha, booty bound in lotus position, waiting for the time, 2,500 years. This unit of time is really cosmically significant, yeah? 2,500 years time, when Buddhism would move from being about freedom from pain, freedom from suffering, freedom from delusion, yeah, to being about what you're going to do with your freedom. Freedom to what? Yeah, the foundations have been laid. Those symbols don't awaken every heart, and now we get to create the symbols that awaken and inspire people, rooted in love, to express themselves, to bring our gifts courageously, compassionately, creatively into the world for the benefit of all beings in this precious time that we have left on this earth. There is no more potent a symbol, no more potent a force of transformation and inspiration than the bouncing booty of a realized awakened being. When the Buddha writes, when he was liberated, angels were surfing on the waves of energy that emanated from his booty, yeah? There's, gnomes were like hugged up to his ass, like ketted up ravers on a speaker, yeah? So, yeah. It's inspirational, right? And we can be those inspirations to our communities, to our people, when our beings are rooted and emanating love. And maybe we'll inspire other people to practice in the ways that will elevate humanity, and life can play with us, life can enjoy. Yeah, this is our ghost dance. This is the Doomsday funk. This is our chance to play and enjoy life in this time that we have left. And yeah, I hope that some of what we spoke about is inspiring. I'm so up for it not, and for the challenges and for conversation. And I'm really excited more than anything to co-create this culture, to co-create these symbols, you know, that we can launch off, Yeah, I'll stop there. Thank you.